read with me and also trying to finish my September TBR. We're basically in the last full week of September, and today is actually the first day of fall. So happy fall, everyone. This video is probably going to take course over the next few days because it's not just going to be a week. I think it's going to go into the last 2 days of September because I think September ends on a Tuesday. So we still have like Monday and Tuesday of next week. So today is the 22nd. So we have like 9 days left. So I have a few books that I'm going to share with you guys, but also I'm going to tell you guys what I'm currently reading, obviously. So since it's the first day of fall, the mood read I decided to pick was the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I started this last night on my Kindle, and I'm hoping to finish this off probably tonight or tomorrow afternoon. I was supposed to have a bunch of reading time today because I was supposed to see my friend yesterday, but then something came up for him, so now I'm going to see him today instead. So I've only gotten 40 pages in so far, but literally like everybody is reading this book lately, and also it was only 99 cents on Kindle, so I'm like, it was a no-brainer for me to just purchase it on Kindle. And so far I'm really enjoying it. So this is the first book that's like a mood read. And like most of the other books are pretty much on my... Wait, let me keep this open actually because I need to talk about one more book. Most of these are still on my September TBR, but I'm like a little bit torn as to what book I want to pick to finish off this month because I have quite a few options. Like there's still priority books that I have to read this week. That I will tell you guys about in just a minute. I just want to pull up this other one, but I'll talk about that later on anyway. So we have one more that I'm going to read on Kindle. It's weird. So the next book that I'm going to finish in this video is Finale by Stephanie Garber. So we are going to be finishing off a trilogy. So far, I'm pretty much almost halfway in. I'm on page 162. I stopped reading this last night so I could start Pumpkin Spice Cafe because I really just wanted to read that today. But so far, I'm really, really enjoying this, and I'm so happy that I finally got to this trilogy. And like I said, I didn't end up getting to Shatter Me. I didn't say this in this video, but I didn't end up getting to Shatter Me this month either, but I finally decided that I need to read a trilogy at least, and then I don't feel as much pressure about a series or finishing off a series when it's just a trilogy, so this is just way easier to finish. So we're definitely going to be finishing this off, and so far I really have been enjoying it. I actually found the audiobooks for free on YouTube. There's like this one channel that I don't know if it's through Audible, but it says it's through Audible on the YouTube video, but the person that shared the audiobooks, I don't think it's an official Audible channel. I think it's like some like random channel. But I've been listening to this as well. I think I've read like 60 pages of this, but I'm mostly going to be listening to this today because I'm going to be reading Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I'm just going to listen to this while I'm getting ready. So yeah, so far I've really been enjoying this. It's been great so far, and I'm excited to finish off a series. And then the other two priority books that I would have to finish this week, because I have to finish these two books. So which one should I talk about first? Let's talk about this one first. So I have to read The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I just want to get this off of my TBR finally. So I'm definitely going to be reading this later this week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be in the mood for a romance after. I probably will. So I think I'm going to read this after I finish Finale. So we're definitely reading this. So this will probably be like Wednesday into Thursday most likely because I think I'll finish Finale by Tuesday. So we're definitely reading this because this is one of my prompts for the month. I actually have only gotten to 2 prompts this month, which was 2024 release, but I had 4 2024 releases to read that I read all of them. And then the enemies to lovers trope prompt was Caraval because I ended up Originally, I picked Shatter Me for that, but since I didn't think I was going to have the time to finish it, I ended up picking Caraval as that prompt. So we're still fulfilling that one. And then this one would be give author another chance. So I am going to be fulfilling this prompt. And I really do want to get to this because I feel like I'm like the last person that has read it. But also I saw that like a lot of people were actually adding that book to their fall TBR. It's not just me. So there's quite a few people that haven't read it still. I don't know why this is showing like this. So the next one is going to be a Kindle read, and that is going to be Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I actually did start this book, and so far I've been having a great time with it. I think I'm on page like 40 something with this book as well. I think I just fucked up where I am though. I'm probably gonna have to look back on my phone to see where I'm at, but so far I've been having a great time with this, and this is also a fantasy, so at least I'll have another fantasy book done. And then I don't know when I'm gonna have time to go into the second one, but I'm really excited to read this. And also I just saw that Haley Pham finished this book, and now it's making me really want to finish it. But this is also one of the books in one of my prompts, which is bottom of my TBR. So I really do want to read this. I've been wanting to read this since February. The same thing with Love Hypothesis. I just haven't gotten to either of them. So these two books are definitely getting read this week as well. So that's it for my Kindle reads. And then as far as what I'm going to have time for after that, because like I said, I should finish Love Hypothesis by Thursday and Assistant to the Villain by probably Saturday, so I'm gonna have time for at least one more book, but also I'm probably gonna have time to start another book. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna go into another fantasy book or if I'm gonna just knock out 2 romances. The 2 that are on my TBR is How to Walk Away by Catherine Center. I really do love her writing, and again, I just saw that Haley Pham read What You Wish For by Catherine Center in her reading video that she just posted, and it really put me back into a Catherine Center mood, and now I really want to read this. So, because I just found out that What You Wish For is actually connected to Happiness for Beginners, and it's actually Duncan's love story, which is Helen's brother's love story. And now I'm like dying to get to that book, but also it's not on Kindle Unlimited, and I could have sworn that this book was on Kindle Unlimited for like the longest time, and now all of a sudden it's not. So I'm actually really happy that I picked up the physical book because I got this for $6. So, and like I've told you guys, I really do want to finish Catherine Center's Backlist because I love her writing. She's like one of my comfort authors, so I really do want to read this, and I know if I pick that, I'm going to have a great time. The other romance that I want to get to, and also like everybody is reading this book right now, is Out on a Limb by Hannah Boehm Young. It's so funny that I picked this up because now I see like quite a few people reading this on YouTube. Like I just saw one of my favorite YouTubers, she just read this, and also Emmy Rossum just picked up this book, and she wants to read it pretty badly, so it makes me really want to read it. And it's like both of How to Walk Away and this book are just short and sweet books. Like this one's like 350, and I think How to Walk Away is like 300 pages. So I'll probably go with this after I finish Assistant to the Villain because this one's a bit longer, and then I'll just finish off the month with How to Walk Away, and we'll see if we finish it or not. I'm not really sure yet. Or if I don't want to read another romance, the last option is The Night Ends with Fire by KX Song, because this is also one of my prompts. It's the beautiful cover prompt, but honestly, it's not the end of the world if I don't get to a beautiful cover prompt. But also, if I don't get to this book this last week of September, I might just roll it into like the first week of October and read it then, because like the first week of October, I'm going to potentially just read a couple more books on my September TBR that I didn't get to, just so like I can just mood read a little bit in October, because like I have a lot of Halloween books on my TBR for October. But I decided to like mix it up a little bit and see whether or not I want to read a couple of other books first the first week of October and then go into like my Halloween TBR, because then I also have to pick like TBR books and also like get to my like witchy books and thrillers for October. So I feel like October is going to be another packed month for me. So yeah, so I'm debating whether or not I'm going to get to this as well. I might just start off October with this after I read Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, because that is the only new release that I have next month, which is great because then I don't have to worry about reading any new releases next month besides that. So I'm definitely going to be reading that the first day of October. I don't know. I'll probably go pick it up at Target and then just read it that day. But yeah, I'm thinking about this one as well. So we have, I think, 3 romances and 3, I think we have 3 romances. No, 4 romances and 3 fantasy books. So Assistant to the Villain, Finale, and Night Ends with Fire are all fantasy. And then Out on a Limb, Love Hypothesis, Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and How to Walk Away are, I'm rhyming, are all romance. So we'll see what we get to, but obviously I have to read Assistant to the Villain and Love Hypothesis, and I'm going to finish off Pumpkin Spice Cafe and Finale. So I don't think I'm going to do any check-ins until after I finish each book, because then I don't want this video to be like a million years long. So I'm just going to check in with you guys on what book that I pick and when I finish it. And that's going to be it. And I'll give you guys my little review. So yeah, bye. I'm going to go read now. Hey guys, so we just finished the first book in this video, which was the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. It's so funny that her name is Laurie Gilmore because you get such Gilmore Girls vibes from this book. I would highly suggest reading this book in the fall. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. I'm teetering between a 3.75 and a 4-star. I still really enjoyed this book, but I think I enjoyed the first, I don't know why there's so much glare. It annoys the shit out of me. I think I enjoyed the first, 60% of this book. It was really good, really funny. I really liked the chemistry between Jeannie and Logan. I thought they were really cute, and I thought it was just serious small town fall vibes that I literally got from Gilmore Girls. But there was a little bit 65% into the book, there was something that turned me off a little bit to one of the characters, and then there was kind of too much miscommunication between Jeannie and Logan around the 70% to 90% mark, and then he makes this grand gesture and they end up being together anyway. It wasn't really it was, of course there was a third act breakup, but it was more so because Logan was so afraid to communicate his feelings to Jeannie, but I didn't like the way that he assumed that he knew what Jeannie was gonna do with her life. Cause she comes to the town because she originally lived in Boston and she had this really high stress job, and then she decided to move to this town to run the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I think her aunt lives there and she wanted to go there and run the cafe for her, and she ended up loving it. But Logan is afraid that she might leave because his ex-fiance didn't want to stay in this town, and she just left after he proposed to her. So that's basically the gist of this. So he's never really tried to fall in love again, and Jeannie, they don't really say anything about past relationships of Jeannie. I wish that she would have went into maybe I guess like because Jeannie had such a busy life, maybe she just didn't have time for a relationship when she was working in Boston. Um, but like she develops like friends there and she becomes closer to Logan, even though before this she was trying to keep things more casual because she wasn't sure if she was going to stay or leave. But then she ends up loving the town way more than she thought. And that's basically it. I'm not going to give any more away, but I thought it was cute. I was laughing out loud at some parts. I highlighted some really funny quotes in this book. They were hilarious. There's also like this person like terrorizing the cafe for some reason, but then when you find out who it was a little bit weird. And also there was like two or three things about certain characters that I didn't love. Also like again with Logan making assumptions about her, I didn't really like that. But then, I did think it was really cute that Logan fell really hard for Jeannie, probably harder than Jeannie fell for Logan. And I love when like the guy is like head over heels for the girl, because sometimes it's usually just like the girl head over heels for the guy. But I still really enjoyed it. I think that this is totally worth the hype. I think it's a really fun, cozy, enjoyable fall read. And I think it's popular for a reason. I did have a really good time with this. It was such a easy, quick read. It took me like not even 2 days to finish. I started it like Saturday night, but I only like read like 20 something pages, and I read like 130 pages yesterday, and then I was up to like page 153 this morning, and then I just read 100 more pages of it this afternoon. So I just finished it now, and I thought it was so cute. So I just love that I finally got to use my Kindle again. I am definitely going to read the next book in the series, which is called The Cinnamon Bun Store, and I really do want to read that one. It's only $5 on Kindle, so I think I'm definitely going to purchase that on Kindle. I think I'm going to read that in October, though. I'm not going to move on to that right away because I have like 3 other books I want to read in this video. So yeah, so that was really cute. So we finished that. So now we are just going to continue reading Finale by Stephanie Garber, the 3rd book in the Caraval series. So now I'm on page 310. So we're just going to finish off this book in this video because why not include finishing off a series in the video? Just because I'm not reading the whole book in this video doesn't really matter. I'll still give you guys my thoughts at the end. Like I said, I'm not going to do check-ins. I'm just going to give you guys my full thoughts at the end of finishing this book. I think that this one is going to be my favorite in the series, though. I'm enjoying this one so much. It's so good, and we only have 160 pages to go. So yeah, I'm probably just going to read this after dinner. I just finished Pumpkin Spice Cafe right before dinner. I really did not want to not finish it before dinner. I just wanted to sit down and read it, so I'm glad I finished it. So yeah. We will check in after I finish this book, and then I will tell you guys which romance that I want to read. I think it's going to be Love Hypothesis and then Assistant to the Villain. Those are going to be the 2 that I read the next few days. And then we might finish off the month with How to Walk Away or Out on a Limb. I'm still not sure which one I really want to read. So yeah, that's it. Bye. So I just wanted to update you guys on the 2nd book that I finished, and that is Finale by Stephanie Garber. It's the 3rd book in the Caraval trilogy, and I finished the trilogy, and I'm so happy that I finally decided to read a series. A series is anything that has more than one book for me, so I'm so happy I decided to read these. This one was so good. I loved this one. I literally cannot stop thinking about it. So this one was a 5-star. I loved this one so much. I think this might be the only 5-star in this video. I'm not sure yet. We'll see with the other 3 books that I'm going to read. I might possibly be able to finish 4 books. We're being a little bit overly ambitious, but I'm going to try. But anyway, I just loved this. I really loved Donatella's and Scarlett's stories in this. It's like basically from both of their POVs. So if you've kept up with the Caraval and the Once Upon a Broken Heart universes, basically they are both interconnected. I actually read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy first, and I read it like back in March. And I absolutely loved it. I don't care what anybody says. I think with Stephanie Garber, if anyone is trying to first get into fantasy, I would 100% recommend her books every single time because her books are just so easy to follow. They're so easy to read, and just so much was going on in this book, but you're never like confused. And I just like the way that she does like simple storytelling, but also like so many things are happening. But like she focuses on that like one thing that's going on. Like she won't like mention it like 10 million other things going on. It'll just be on that one thing, but it'll be like such a monumental decision that like one of the main characters has to make. And it's just so good. Like I love the way that she describes like curses and like fairy tales in this book. It's just so good. So basically like Caraval is a huge like circus game where people are supposed to come and compete for this kind of entity because nobody knows who he actually is, and his name is Legend, and no one knows his true identity. And that's like kind of the mysteriousness and magicalness of Legend. And also like there's so many rumors as to like what he really is, but most people know he possesses like great power, and he runs these games once a year. And Scarlett and her sister go to compete in these games, but Scarlett has to save Donatella in like the first book. And then the second book, I'm just gonna recap super quickly. In the second book, you find out who Legend is. Basically, it's like the whole reveal of his identity. And it takes place from Donatella's perspective. The first book takes place from Scarlett's perspective. They're two sisters, and in the second book, they end up competing again because they end up competing like a lot sooner than the games are supposed to take place, and then they find out that the games are actually like more of a life or death situation again, kind of similar to the first one. And basically Donatella has to find out whether or not she wants to be with Legend or she wants to be with Jax, and Jax is actually introduced in Legendary, and I literally screamed when he was introduced in the book. And I know that I knew that he was going to be introduced in it, and I don't care, I still squealed like a little girl when he was introduced. I was just so happy to read about him again. So the first book I gave a 4.5. I really enjoyed it so much. The second book I gave a 4.25. I don't know what it is about her second books, but unpopular opinion, but I didn't really love The Ballad of Never After as much as I loved Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Curse for True Love. I mean, A Curse for True Love was actually my favorite, and then Finale ended up being my favorite too. So I just love her last books in the trilogies like so much. So much happened in this book, and basically Donatella has to save Legend from something that happened, and Jax is constantly like, you know, testing her. And because Jax is a fate, so he can basically do whatever he wants with her, and he thinks that, you know, that he's still gonna win her in the end. And Scarlett basically has to try and save her mother, because they end up finding her mother because their parents have basically been like absentee parents. So that's basically what happens in this book. I really don't want to go into it too much to spoil it because this is the third book in the series, but that's basically what happens. And then you find out whether or not, again, if Donatella is going to be with Legend or with Jax. So, like, it basically concentrates more so on Donatella. And also, if you've read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, you will hear Donatella mentioned plenty of times because Jax mentions her as his first true love, because as a fate, he's not able to love. But I also wish that she would have went into like Jax just a little bit more, but you did get a lot of his backstory in this. And this was more so, you know, like his love story. And then in Once Upon a Broken Heart, it's whether or not he finds true love again. Because if you're immortal, you're either cursed to live forever without love, or if you want to love, you have to give up your immortality. And I just love that concept. I was like, that is like mind blowing to me. I think that's such an amazing concept. So, anyway, I freaking loved it. I'm not going to ramble about it anymore. I would just highly suggest if you were thinking about that series. I think actually, if you didn't love Once Upon a Broken Heart, you might like Caraval even more, because I like that she doesn't write the main character like kind of stupidly, because I feel like when book series get more popular, sometimes they can like make the main female, especially the female main character, like kind of dumber, and I really hate when series do that. It's like Donatella and Scarlett had rough past, and basically they fought for themselves, and they loved each other, and that was the main point, is that they didn't really have their parents' love, but they had their love for each other. So that's basically why they, wanted to save each other. So on to the third book in this video, which is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I wasn't sure if I was going to pick up this book or not next. I was thinking about either reading another one on my TBR, but I'm like, no, Caitlin, just finally do it. I actually put the book titles on oh my God, can I speak right now? On a wheel of names, and this is what it landed on. So I was like, all right, we're reading it. I actually just started the audiobook today because I found it on YouTube. And so far I think it's funny. So, but the thing is that with Ali Hazelwood's books, they always start off promising for me, but in the end, they always end up like just in the middle and the end, they end up falling flat for me. So we will see if I end up liking this one, but so far I think it's good. So, but I literally just started it. I think I'm only like not even like 20 pages in. So I really didn't have any time to read it physically this morning because I have to get ready for work now. But yeah, I will update you guys when we finish it. So bye. Okay, so hey guys, I wanted to update you guys that I finished the third book in this video, and that is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I literally just finished it right now. It only took me a day and a half because I was actually listening to it quite a bit on YouTube because I found the audiobook online. So, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute. So, I guess this was the turning point book for me with Ali Hazelwood, because honestly, like, I was just dreading picking this up because I just, like I said in the past, I've not had the best luck with her books. I really didn't like Bride. I really didn't really like Check and Mate that much better. It was definitely better than Bride, but this one was kind of like, I don't know, this one was just light and fun and fluffy and funny, and I just had a really good time with it. I was like actually laughing out loud for a lot of it, and it was just a cute little fluffy romance. So I enjoyed it. Don't expect anything to be like a deep meaning in this book. It's not. I think I can understand why this book is so popular, and I'm glad I finally finished it. And I guess maybe me listening to it inspired me to finish it a lot faster, or like inspired me to read it more. And I really did enjoy it. I think I'm teetering between a 3.75 and a 4-star because excuse me. I honestly want to give it like a 3.8 out of 4 out of 5, but I really, like, for me, I don't do those ratings. I either do like a 3, a 3.25, a 3.5, a 3.75. So I think I'm going to give this one a 3.75. I think the reason why is because, I don't know, I had a really good time with this though. I'm really struggling as to what I want to rate this. I think I'm going to still rate it 4 stars on Goodreads though, because I thought it was a really fun time. That's just like whatever I rate like a 4 stars is a good book to me, and I would recommend this book to honestly somebody that wants to first start off with romance, I do think it took a little bit too long to get to like Adam and Olive to actually realize that they really did like each other, but they were like doing this whole fake dating thing where they weren't sure if they, and this is actually like one of the first scenes in the book, is they fake kiss each other because she's trying to convince her best friend that she's not in love with her boyfriend, because before that she was in love with this guy, but he ended up dating her best friend over her. It's kind of fucked up, but at the same time, like, she's trying to make her best friend see that she's trying to move on, and like her best friend didn't really know that she was into this guy. So she's trying to like move on like while she's working at the lab, and Adam is like kind of her superior, but there's nothing against like them dating. So they first kiss and her best friend sees them kiss and she's like, "Why are you kissing Adam? I thought you hated him." And then it starts like this whole like fake dating kind of thing where she's like, "Oh, sorry, like I didn't mean to kiss you. I'm sorry." But then like they both agree to like fake date each other because they actually realize that it will help them more than like hurt them. And basically throughout the rest of the book, she's struggling with her feelings for Adam, and she's realizing that she likes him a lot more than she thinks. And that's usually like how the fake dating tropes work out in books, is that if they're fake dating, they always end up really dating. I just thought it was really cute. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. So another book finished that has been on my TBR for quite a long time, and I'm actually really happy that I finished that one. So we are going to change course a little bit though, because I actually just got a new release today, a week early, and I am 100% going to be going into this one next. I'm probably going to start this later tonight because I have to do a little bit more cleaning before dinner, but I didn't think I was going to be able to get this book this early, but it doesn't come out until the 1st, and my local bookstore already had this book yesterday. But also yesterday like was the official date that was announced on Goodreads that this book was supposed to come out, which was September 24th. And it still says September 24th on Goodreads, but on Kindle and also on Amazon's website it says October 1st. And Target says October 1st as well, because I was like, oh, maybe if the bookstore got this super early, maybe Target will have it then, because like originally the date said September 24th, but no, I think it doesn't come out till October 1st. But I got it today because I messaged the bookstore on Instagram after seeing it on like the new books cart that they usually post on their Instagram like every day. And I was like, "Wait, you guys have Nothing Like the Movies already?" And he was like, "Shh." And I was like, "Can I hold that? Because I am 100% going to be picking that up tomorrow." So I went and picked it up earlier today. And I think they only had 2 copies of it. So the next book that I'm going to go into is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I can't believe I have this early. There's something about just getting books early that just, it makes you feel like you snagged an arc for yourself. But I can't believe I'm going to be able to read this and review it like way sooner than I thought. And it ends up working out when I said that this was going to be my 2024 release prompt for my prompts that I drew for my TBR video. And then now I'm still able to read it in this month. Like, this was actually going to be the first book that I read October 1st, because I thought it wasn't going to come out until then. But now I am so excited to read this tonight. I love Lynn Painter's YA books. Betting on You was my absolute favorite one. I gave that a 5 stars. I just loved that book so much. I really like Better Than the Movies and The Do-Over, but Betting on You is definitely my favorite, but I literally could not wait for the sequel to Better Than the Movies. And also Larry Reeves, she gave this a 5 stars. There has been quite a bit of mixed reviews on this book. I've seen a lot of people not really like it, but I also feel like a lot of people hate on Lynn Painter for no reason, when I just always have such a great time with her books, and all of her YA romance books are default buys for me, so I'm super excited to read this. So yeah, this is what we're going to be reading next. I'm super happy that I'll be able to give you guys my review a lot earlier, but also like my review probably won't come out until October 1st when the book is already released. So, yeah, we're just going to read this and I will update you guys when I'm finished. So, bye for now. Okay, so hey there guys, so I just wanted to tell you guys that I finished my 4th book in this video, and that is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. I actually finished this earlier today, so I think this only took me a total of 2 days to finish. I think I started it on Wednesday night and I finished it this evening because I actually finished it at my friend's apartment. Because I had already read like over 100 pages before I got ready to see him. And I got up to page 300 like last night. And then before I went to see him, I was on page like 410. So I just finished up the last 25 pages at his apartment while he was playing a video game. Because I was like, I really just want to finish this before we eat. And then we went and picked up Wingstop. And you guys, this was probably one of the most disappointing reads this year. Like, what is up with these new releases, and especially the romance releases this year, except for The Paradise Problem, Just Like the Summer. I mean, Just for the Summer, not Just Like the Summer. The Paradise Problem, Just for the Summer, A Novel Love Story, and Summer Romance. Those were my favorite romances that came out this year. But the ones that came out this month, my favorite one of the new releases was My Vampire Plus One. I thought that one was really fun. It was just a fun, light, quick read, and I had a good time reading it. Primetime Romance was okay, but this was extremely disappointing. I gave this a 2.75 out of 5 stars. And this is my lowest rated Lynn Painter book by far. And it's so disappointing. Like, I usually think the complete opposite. Usually, but I did read like multiple bad reviews of this book, and honestly, I would have to agree. This was just so boring. And it took like a good 350 pages for there to be any romance that happened. And they kissed like once, but like the build up, like I understand there's like slow burn romances, and if you wanted to make this a slow burn, at least make it entertaining. Like, I feel like that this book just took itself way too seriously. And there's nothing wrong with like wanting to have a message or making things a little bit more serious and real. I feel like that was the point of this book. That's why it's called Nothing Like the Movies. But it just dragged on. And again, there was absolutely no romance. And I felt like the first 200 pages just concentrated on Wes's baseball interview. And really, I feel like we didn't get enough Liz in this book. And I understand if you wanted to give Wes more of a character, but this was not even funny. There was no, like, funny banter. There was no like, awkward, forced proximity with the scenes between Wes and Liz. It just, like, was, I don't know, it just was not very good. And I'm like, I felt the complete opposite about this book than I did about Betting on You. Like, Betting on You was slightly shorter than this one. It was like 420 pages, and this one was 435 pages. And I knew that I loved Betting on You because I did not want that book to end. And I usually think like romances over like 370, 380 pages are like too long for me. Like, I don't think romances need to be over 400 pages. But I didn't want that book to end. I loved that book so much, and I was dying for more. But this, I could not wait for it to be over. Once I got halfway through, I was like, okay, maybe some romance will start happening. the first 200 pages were kind of like pointless, but let's see if it's going to get better. And it honestly really didn't. And it wasn't just because there was no romance going on, but also, like, what is up with romance books not having enough romance in them? If you're going to be a romance, there's got to be some chemistry between the characters. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily mean that they kiss. Doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be together all the time. There just needs to be some kind of chemistry going on. And there was zero chemistry between them. And I understand why a lot of people were let down by this book. I feel like, but again, it was so weird that, like, even the scenes that I was hoping that would be a little funny, all the dialogue fell flat. Like, nothing, like, I barely laughed in this book. And usually I'm like, when I was reading Betting on You, I was smiling the entire time. I was laughing my ass off. And the only part of this book that I got excited for, and I literally screamed, was because Bailey and Charlie from Betting on You make a cameo in this book. And I was like, wait, Bailey and Charlie? And I was screaming. And that was the only time. But I thought I was going to give this book like a 3 stars. No. I give it a 2.75, but I gave it a 2 stars on Goodreads because I'm not rounding it up to a 3. I'm like, it wasn't even okay. It just wasn't very good. Like, again, at least in Primetime Romance and My Vampire Plus One, I was laughing. There was some parts that I didn't like, but there were some parts I really liked. With this, I didn't like, I barely liked any of this. Like, I feel like this book is going to leave my mind after I've read it. Like, but again, like, I always feel like the bad books, we stick out in our minds a lot more, but absolutely nothing happened in this book. Like, it did not progress the story with Wes and Liz whatsoever. Even when they went back to their hometown, I was like, oh, maybe we'll get like a cute, nostalgic little scene with them. No, it just, like, it was pointless. Like, a lot of people were saying they didn't think that this was necessary, and I have to agree with them. Like, sometimes, like, you can't really ride on your success with, like, the book that's, like, your most successful book. And look, this is coming from somebody that loves Lynn Painter's books. I love her YA romances. I was like, what happened with this? And it doesn't mean I'm not going to read her next romance. Like, I, of course, 100% am going to read her next YA romance because she's like an auto-buy author for me. I will read every book that she comes out with, but honestly, this was a huge misstep and a huge disappointment for me. I really didn't like it. So, unfortunately, this is going to be the lowest rated book in this video, and I really did not expect it to be. But it's just, it was pretty bad. Pretty bad. So, sorry if, like, people were looking forward to reading this, but I would save yourself the hassle. But also, if you're interested in it, go ahead. I just have to give you guys my honest opinion, honestly. Like, just because I love the author doesn't mean I'm going to love every single book that they, come out with. So, oh my god. Why is everything falling over right now? Sorry. Okay, so moving on. We're going to move on to the 5th book in this video. And I think I'm only going to be able to finish 2 more books in this video. I think I said before I should be able to get through at least 6 books. So, because again, I am trying to finish my September TBR, but I did say I was going to read this book next, and like I said, I already did start this book, and I was having such a great time with it, so I'm just going to continue it, and I have to read this because it's been on my TBR, like, forever. But again, I'm so looking forward to it because it was such a fun time when I started it. So I'm going to be reading Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maher. And I'm super excited for this one so I can get at least another fantasy read this month. Because I read quite a few romances the past week. I'm like, I need a fantasy in my life. So, yeah, I'm super excited to read this. So I will check in with you guys once I finish Assistant to the Villain. I should hopefully finish it by Sunday. And then probably the last book that I read in this video is going to be The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which I purchased on my Kindle as well. And I'm probably going to read that as my last book of the month because I don't think I'm going to have time to finish another physical book. I could have read How to Walk Away, but honestly, I really wanted to read Assistant to the Villain, and that will get another one of my prompts done for the month. Like I said, I was ending up finishing like 3 of my prompts this week because I didn't really get to any of the other ones because I was reading so many new releases. And the only one I completed before this was the Enemies to Lovers one, and then I just completed the new release one now. And the Love Hypothesis was Give Author Another Chance. And the fact that I liked that book more than Nothing Like the Movies, when I usually love Lynn Painter's writing and I don't usually love Allie Hazelwood's writing, that's why I was giving her another chance. And I actually really enjoyed that book. Says a lot. So, yeah, unfortunately it didn't work out with me. But yeah, I'll check in when I finish Assistant to the Villain. So far, I have a really good feeling about this book. I think I'm really going to like it. So, bye. So hey there guys, I wanted to update you guys that I just finished Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayher. So this is now the 5th book that I've finished in this video. And I really liked this. This was so much fun. This was so good. This was so entertaining. It was funny. It was exciting. There was some romance. There was some action. It was just a fun, funny, silly, good time. And sometimes you just need that. And I think that this was my favorite book in this video besides Finale. I really liked this a lot. It was just really fun, and I think I'm going to give this a 4.25 out of 5 stars. I rated it 4 stars on Goodreads. I just thought it was so much fun. So, it took me like 2.5 days to finish. I think I started reading it on Friday night, and honestly, it was a little bit of a struggle for me to stay focused on reading the past like 2 days. I think it was just because I really didn't enjoy Nothing Like the Movies, that I was like, I didn't really feel like reading after that book was like the worst book in this video, which I'm really surprised that that was the worst one because honestly, I enjoyed every other book that I read in this video besides that book. It was just terrible, but like, so basically, Evie goes to work for the villain, and his name is Tristan. And basically, it's kind of like it reminded me of like a Robin Hood retelling where the characters aren't so black and white. Like the villain, Tristan, isn't really, it kind of like questions if somebody's all bad and somebody's all good. And I kind of really like the way that she described the characters as, you know, not being totally one-dimensional, that there was a lot more to Tristan than what was on the surface, and the same thing with Evie, and I really liked Evie as a main character. Basically, she has to, you know, get a job because she needs to support her, like, sick dad and her younger sister, because her dad is sick and he can't really work, so she has to find some sort of employment, so she goes to work for the villain. And I just thought the whole concept of this book was fucking hysterical because it's like, what if like a villain needed like a whole staff to like keep up his, you know, villainry and like killing people and capturing people and putting them in dungeons. And it was just so funny to read about like the groans from the dungeon, like during like a work day or like going into the office. It was just hilarious. And also the villain, Tristan, has like a frog, you know, like how every villain has like some kind of like evil pet, but this frog is kind of like, I guess like he used to be a human, but now he's a frog, you know, like the classic tale of like a prince being turned into a frog. But like Kinsley like makes like these hysterical comments during like some of the scenes with Evie and Tristan once they start getting closer. So basically, he works for the villain. She works for the villain because they are opposed to King Benedict's rule, and basically Benedict is pretty much the evil guy in this story. It's not really a spoiler. You find this out really early on. But basically it's just like, their everyday occurrences with each other, and I don't really want to give anything else away. There's some like fantasy in it, there's some magic, there's some, like I said, Evie and Tristan form, an affection towards each other. They don't take it like all the way, but he's starting to question like whether or not he can actually, like hold affection towards someone and like really care about somebody, because he really hasn't. And you also find out about like his family members in this, and also you find out more about, Evie's mother and her past as well. And it was just so much fun. I had such a good time reading this. I thought it was just a great time. And for people that rated this 1 star, like, again, like sometimes you just don't need to take a book too seriously. Sometimes, like I said, you don't have to have like a super like insightful, emotional, like crazy, amazingly written book. You can just read a book to have a good time, and I had such a good time with this. That's what mood reading is. It's reading books that will put you in a good mood. And this was great. And this definitely put me in a good mood. And I'm glad it was on Kindle Unlimited. Now I really, really want to read the second book. I'm going to have to go purchase it soon, because I might try and read it in October and like eliminate another book, because I honestly really want to continue on with the series. I'm not going to read it right now, but I thought it was just so much fun. It was just such a good time. I thought it was just really, really fun, and I highly recommend it if you were thinking about reading it. I'm trying to return this to Kindle, and for some reason it wasn't going. Okay. So then the very last book that I'm going to read in this video, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it, but I should be able to post this video like the 1st or 2nd of October, so I don't think anybody really cares, because it's not like anybody watches my videos anyway. But like I said, the last book I was going to read this month, it's literally the last day of the month, is The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore, which is the second book in, what is this series called? Dream Harbor series. So yeah, I'm going to read this because this should be a really quick read. And again, it's another Kindle read. So if I do end up finishing this tomorrow, I'm not sure I'm going to though, because I just stayed home today, like the entire day. And I actually like watched a movie with my mom, and I just got some cleaning done, and I read a lot. So I just wanted to stay home to finish this book. And I just had a great time. So if I don't end up finishing this, it says it'll take me 7 hours. I don't know if I'm going to finish it the very last day of the month. If not, I will finish it October 1st, like in the morning. And then I'm probably going to go right into The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, because that comes out September 1st. We're at the end of September. October 1st, and that should come out at midnight, but I probably won't read that until like that afternoon, because like I said, I don't like reading thrillers at night, and that should only take me like a day to read. And then after that, I should be able to go into Out on a Limb. I just dropped my Kindle. So yeah, I really liked it. And again, I think this was my second favorite book in this video besides Finale. I'm just so glad I was able to read at least one more fantasy book before the month was over, because I was really craving another This is like, it's not very high stakes fantasy, but there's like good action in it that like, and there's like a huge betrayal that happens at the end that makes me really want to read the second book. But the thing is that the second book is not on Kindle Unlimited, and if I purchase it on Kindle, it's $13. It's a little expensive. Like, honestly, I don't really like paying more than like, I usually pay $12 for like new releases. Like, I'm definitely going to purchase Throne of Secrets on Kindle when I read that, and that's going to be the very first book I read in November. But We'll see. I'm probably just gonna go purchase the physical copy, and once I read it, I might just return it. So yeah, it was so good. So I will check in with you guys maybe when I'm halfway through the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. We'll see where we're at tomorrow. We might not finish it in this video, but we're gonna try. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so hey there guys. So it is the next day, and I was trying to film me talking about the last book that I finished in this video, but every time I'm trying to upload this video to my computer, it is cutting out that clip. And for some reason, it's ending on me talking about Assistant to the Villain, and then the clip of me talking about the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore is just not computing with uploading to my computer, because every time I've done it, it's given me an error saying like, this frame. So I'm thinking it's that one, because every time I upload it, it cuts out that part completely, and it's like 55 minutes of the video. So I'm going to try and wrap up my thoughts as soon as possible, because as quickly as possible, because I can talk like forever. So I finished the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore last night, and I binged the whole thing. And this was basically Hazel and Noah's story. And if you guys have read the first one, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, this is a continuation. So I would suggest reading the first one, but honestly, you don't really have to, because Hazel is Logan's best friend in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and Noah was also in the first book basically saying that he was pining over Hazel. It's not really a spoiler. So basically, he's the passerby in this new book. In the second book, because like basically this series centers upon people just like finding themselves and whether or not they want to stay in Dream Harbor, because some people don't always stay there, because so that was Logan's fear with in the first book, but like the second book is now about Noah deciding whether or not he wants to stay. But honestly, I didn't really care about this book as much as the first one. The first one was just funnier. I really liked the elements of the first one with like the mystery of like who was terrorizing the cafe. Like there was just some, and I thought it was a lot more atmospheric than this one. Like I could really like feel the fall vibes in Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This one takes place like more so at the end of summer, beginning of fall, and basically Hazel works at the Cinnamon Bun bookstore, and somebody keeps on leaving her like clues in books there, and they keep on like dog earing pages in the books of like certain things that they've highlighted for her. And Noah keeps on like visiting her in the store, and he keeps on like he says he wants to help her find out who's leaving her these clues. And that's pretty much all you need to know. And then a romance develops between Hazel and Noah. I will say I do really think that she's very good at keeping the romance an overall theme in the whole book, because I really have found with most of the romances that I've read lately, they don't really keep up the romance throughout the whole book. So I liked it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I would still recommend this series if you're looking for like something that's like an easy fall quick read. So overall, I did enjoy the books that I read in this video. I'm just going to rank them super quickly. So definitely my favorite was Finale by Stephanie Garber. I gave that a 5 stars. My second favorite was Assistant to the Villain. I gave that a 4.25. I really did like it a lot. 3 was The Love Hypothesis. Surprisingly, I gave that a 3.75. I really enjoyed that one by Ali Hazelwood. Assistant to the Villain was by Hannah Nicole Maher. Number 4 was Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I gave that, I believe, a 3.75 as well. Love Hypothesis, I gave like a 3.8 because I liked it a little bit more than like a 3.75. And then number 5 was Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which was 3.5. I would still recommend all of these books to you guys. But number 6 was definitely Nothing Like the Movies. I gave that, which was by Lynn Painter, I gave that a 2.75. that book was just really terrible, honestly. It was the worst Lynn Painter book I've ever read. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819 and check my Poshmark at the same handle. And let me know if you guys want to read any of these books. But I feel really good about the books that I completed in September. I completed some books that have been on my TBR for quite a while, and I also read a lot of new releases. And I also read a trilogy. So I had a really good reading month overall. So yeah, that's it. Bye.